Yalla. How was your exam? Okay? Yeah, let's just start and finish his occasion.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Today on the 7th of Dhul-Qa'dah, we'll continue on the chapter of Zakah on page 298. Number 4, those whose hearts have been inclined towards Islam.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. We've been discussing Masarif al-Zakah, meaning the places or the people, the categories of people whom the Zakah is to be given to. And we said we don't have to give all the categories, just one category will be enough. And we discussed already 3 categories. We discussed the Faqir and the Miskeen, and we differentiated between them. And we call them the poor and the indigent. And we discussed as well the third one, which is Al-Amiluna alayha, the one being deputized by the state to collect the Zakah. And this Al-Amiluna alayha is one of those 5 rich people who are allowed to receive Zakah. There are 5 rich people who are allowed to receive the Zakah. One of them is the one who's been deputized to collect the Zakah. So that even if he's rich, but because he works to collect the Zakah, distribute the Zakah, then he's allowed to receive from the Zakah. Now we're coming to the Mu'allafa Qulub, the ones who want to reconcile their hearts. Also, this person could be rich to reconcile his heart. And reconciliation here is either this person is not Muslim, to give him to become a Muslim, like Safwan ibn Umayyah. He was not a Muslim when the Prophet ﷺ had gained the victory against the tribes of Hawazin and Thaqif, and he had this is the Battle of Hunayn. He had lots of war booty, so he came back and he gave Safwan ibn Umayyah, even though he was a kafir and mushrik, from that as a zakah, in order to reconcile his heart. And Safwan ibn Umayyah, he said, the Prophet of Allah kept giving me until I loved the Prophet ﷺ. He became the most beloved person to me, even though he was the most hated person to me. And also, you could give it to somebody who is just embraced Islam in order that he would enhance Islam. So this is the second category underneath this reconciling the heart. First one we said, to give it to non-Muslim to become a Muslim. Can I just answer this one? Yeah. It's going to my head really. So the second category is to give it to the Muslim who just embraced Islam to strengthen his heart. Like for example, the Prophet ﷺ, he had given people from the people of Quraysh who just at the opening of Mecca, or repossession of Mecca, and he's giving them so many camels, and he said, verily I'm giving those people, even though there are more dearer people than them to me, but I'm giving them just for the sake that Allah Azza wa Jal will not throw them on their faces in the fire, meaning that these people will leave Islam. So I'm giving them to strengthen their Islam. So this is the second category under this called Al-Mu'allafa Qulubu. Also, as a third category in this one, in this Mu'allafa Qulubu, I'm talking about the fourth category, but there are underneath the 3, you could divide them. Who is the Mu'allafa Qulubu? Number 1, we said, the mushrik, to make him embrace Islam. Number 2, the Muslim who just mushrik embrace Islam to strengthen his iman. Number 3 is the person we give him for the sake of that that maybe other people will take his example and embrace Islam. So he's like a head of a tribe. Okay, so this person will give him, so the other ones, they look at him and look up to him, and they will say, hang on a second, this person, and once he embraces Islam, other people will embrace Islam because he's the head of a tribe. So we give him. That's called reconciliation of the heart. Also, we give to the person who's just to give him zakah in order to be because he's got power to collect the zakah from the others. So the reconciliation of his heart. Meaning, if this person, he has got his word over the other community, so we give him from the zakah to reconcile his heart in order that he would collect the zakah from the others. Or, for example, to protect the Muslims from harm. All of those comes under the category of al-mu'allafa qulubuhum. Prophet ﷺ has given al-Aqra' ibn Hasib, Habis, Uyayna ibn Badr, wa Alqama ibn Ilatha. And those people are very tough, rough people. He said, أَتَأَلَّفُهُمْ, I want to reconcile them, bring them closer to us. Do we give these people after the death of the Prophet ﷺ? Because Ibn Kathir, he said that there is a controversial regarding, do we still give them till today? Umar al-Khattabi said, in his reign of his Khilafah, Wallahi, he will not give them anymore. That was at the time of the Prophet of Allah. Now, if he wants to embrace Islam, it's up to him. If he doesn't suit himself. Because we don't need them. As Umar al-Khattabi said. So it's up to him. If you want to embrace Islam, embrace Islam. I'm not going to give him money to make him embrace Islam. And some others said, no, we still give them to reconcile. And the correct opinion actually is a reconciliation, to reconcile the hearts, to soften the hearts, still going on. The fifth category now.
Number 5, to free the captives.
Free the captives. Freeing the captives is the 3 categories. Category number 1 is a person who's got a captive, he's got a slave, so he gives him as zakah, to free him as zakah. Second category is, it's a person who is a slave of somebody else, so you purchase him and then you set him free. And that's as well, you can use as zakah money. So number 1 we said, you free your slave, so that's it, zakah. Number 2 is that somebody else got that slave and you pays from your zakah to purchase him. And you set him free. Or, third one, whom is a person belong to somebody else. Sorry, it's just heavy. So belong to somebody else, and he's a slave of somebody else, but he made a deal with his master that once he pays him such and such amount of money, then this person will be free. So you, from your own zakah money, you give to that slave straight away in order to set himself free. So we call it al-mukatab. Al-mukatab. You got anybody tissues, please? Please. You see, something coming from here is just really making my eyes water.
There's all greenery there.
Yeah.
Want to shut the door?
Oh. Right. Sixth category.
Number 6, those in debt.
Those who are in debt. Those who are in debt also are categories. Some of them, they could be rich and you can give them zakah. How? This is the hadith, which is hadith of Qabisa ibn Mukharaq al-Hilali. I would like to read it for you.
The base for this is the hadith of Qabisa ibn Mukharaq al-Hilali. He said, I incurred a debt resolving a dispute between people and went to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam asking him to help pay. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, wait until some charity is brought to us so that we can give it to you. He then said, O Qabisa, begging is not allowed except in 3 cases. A man who incurred debts solving disputes, he is allowed to ask until he collects its amount and then must stop. A man who was inflicted by a disaster that consumed his wealth, he is allowed to ask until he collects what suffices for his livelihood. And a man who was overcome by poverty, such that 3 knowledgeable relatives of his stand up and proclaim, so and so was overcome by poverty. This man is allowed to ask until he collects what sustains his livelihood. Other than these cases, begging is an unlawful amount that one illegally consumes.
Okay, we'd like to ask you what is the difference between category number 2 and category number 3. Repeat them again. So, this is the hadith where they said that the Qabisa, he came to the Prophet of Allah and he said, Messenger of Allah, tahammaltu hamala, meaning I have burdened myself with a debt to reconcile between two people or two tribes. Meaning, let's say somebody had killed somebody, let's say by mistake, or through a fight, and or even deliberate. And the settlement was that, okay, we're not going to kill somebody from your side because he's deliberate, or he was not deliberate, there is a blood money to be paid. That blood money could be heavy penalty, a lot of blood money, especially if it's the case if it is a deliberate kill. So a person will step in to say that, okay, on me to settle this blood money, just for the sake of putting an end for any sort of clash between the two tribes. I will settle. I'll take this on the burden. I'll take the burden of this to pay it to the people whom the killed person belonged to, and I'll settle this amount. Now this person, he could be a millionaire. It doesn't matter. So he comes to any charity, any masjid, and he says that I have taken the burden of such and such blood money that belong to such and such people that they are having a dispute and don't reconcile between them. And I want to collect money. So that's the Qabisa when he came to the Prophet of Allah. So the Prophet of Allah said, okay, stay aside here until we get the sadaqah and we'll command to give it to you. So Qabisa, he could be a millionaire. It doesn't matter. But he is, Jazallahu khairan, he is out of his time, came to what? To settle between what? Two tribes. Okay? So he said, I will settle this. So we have to help him. So we pay from our what? From our zakah to give this person in order to settle the blood money, which is to settle the dispute. Now Qabisa doesn't have to pay a penny, even as I said, if he's Bill Gates. It doesn't matter. So we give him, so he takes the zakah, not for his pocket, for what? To settle the dispute, the blood money. Blood money could be hundreds of thousands. And Islam came to encourage such an act. Okay? Islam came to encourage such an act. The person steps in to solve matters between tribes because there will be death killing taking place. And maybe some of you don't know these things because they don't live it, but I live this thing. I live in our countries. Anybody knows about this? Yes? Yeah.
I come from a tribal area, they have these sort of disputes as well.
Where you Patan or something?
Yeah.
Patan crazy.
Yeah.
They are really, mashallah, tabarakallah. They are taking revenge. Yeah, that blood money is in Patan, I know that. Correct. طيب, khair inshallah. And then, we got some people as well like us in our countries which are so into the old days, they want to take revenge. But we settle this by blood money to end up the killing. So Allah musta'an. So this is Qabisa, even is rich, he could be collecting zakah, and you pay him zakah for the sake of to settle the dispute. Second one, focus here please. Second one. A person, again, second one, read it again.
Number 2, a man who was inflicted by a disaster that consumed his wealth.
A man who has been inflicted by disaster that consumed his wealth. So we'll give him enough to make him stand on his feet. The third one.
Number 3, and a man who was overcome by poverty, such that 3 knowledgeable relatives of his stand up and claim so-and-so was overcome by poverty.
So what's the difference? Why is number 3, we need 3 witnesses from his own tribe to witness, to testify that he needs money? While the second category, we didn't need 3 people. Anybody would like to tell me? Further.
Is it because he's rich and he gets bankrupt? Then he needs to have witnesses to say that he needs the money, because otherwise people think he's already.
Well, the other one could be rich as well. He lost the money, but didn't need 3. He could be very rich as well, even richer than the third category. But we didn't need 3 people. Yes, sir.
Is it because when disaster struck, it's visible?
Ah, well done, Masha. Clever boy. Mashallah, tabarakallah. When disaster takes place, it's like burning. His house is burned. His crops has been burnt. Flood took place. Everybody knows that. So there doesn't need 3 people to witness. Whereas the other one, something that is to do with his money, somewhere being taken away, he's being conned, or he's being liquidated, or something had happened to him. Nobody knows except for very few people. That's why we need how many? 3, or not just any 3. 3 people who are min Ahl al-Hijr. That is, people who are sedate and knows what they're talking about, sensible people. And they will testify that this person, yes, true, he's in need. So we'll give him until he is satisfied, until he's on his feet. Alright, number 7.
Number 7, for Allah's cause.
For Allah's cause is always, fi sabilillah, means jihad. So you can give zakah, and this is another category of where the person can be rich, but he could still receive zakah. He could be rich, but you want to provide him with a horse. The zakah. So you buy him, even he's capable of buying not just one horse, million of horses. But he's a mujahid. So he's put in jihad, you could give him zakah, from your own zakah, to equip him. Do you understand that? That's one of the categories of the rich people who receive zakah. Remember that, because we're going to come to the hadith who are the rich people who receive the zakah. And also, fi sabilillah, it could be hajj. And the hajj, why? Because of the following hadith. Allah ibn Abbas.
I, the author, and that Ibn Kathir was referring to the following hadith narrated by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was intending to perform the pilgrimage. A woman said to her husband, "Let me make the pilgrimage with the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam." He replied, "I have nothing for you to make the pilgrimage on." She said, "Let me ride on such and such camel of yours." He replied, "It is being kept for the sake of Allah." He then went to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and said, "My wife conveys her greetings to you. She has asked me to make the pilgrimage with you. I told her that I have nothing for her to make the pilgrimage on, and she requested such and such camel. I told her that it was being kept for the sake of Allah."
Kept for the sake of Allah, kept for the jihad. Kept for the sake of Allah and the son jihad. Word for the sake of Allah, kept for what? For jihad. Now.
Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam then told him, "If you let her make the pilgrimage upon it, it would be for jihad."
So that's why the scholars use this hadith to say that giving money from the zakat to a person who wants to make hajj, hajj al-fariḍah, hajj al-fard, is hajj which is obligatory, and it is zakat. It's acceptable. So to give zakat to somebody who wants to make hajj, to make him able to make the hajj, that is acceptable. Alright. Last category.
Number 8, for the wayfarer.
The wayfarer, what is it? What is it, please?
This refers to the traveller who is cut off in a foreign land and has nothing to help him along in his journey. He is to be given from the zakah until he is able to reach his homeland, even if he be a person of wealth. This is also the ruling for a person who starts a journey from his land and has no money. He is to be given sufficient money from the zakah until he is able to go and return. The evidence for this position is in the verse above, as well as the following hadith recorded by Abu Dawud and Ibn Majah from the hadith of Ma'mar from Yazid ibn Aslam, from A'ta ibn Yassar, from Abu Sa'id who said, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, it is not permissible to give charity to a rich person except in 5 categories. One employed to collect the zakah, a fighter for the sake of Allah, a rich person who bought an item of charity with his wealth, a person who is given charity, and then he gives it as a gift to a rich person and a debtor.
طيب. Ibn al-Sabil. Ibn al-Sabil, the wayfarer or the traveler. Traveler is just 2 categories. Category number 1 is a person who left his home land and he went to an area and he can't get back. This person, he could be rich, but he can't get his money. Do you understand now? He needs money now to go back. He's got 2 options. Either to take a loan and then pay him back, or take from the zakah, doesn't pay anything. Which one is better? Put your finger up, please. تفضل يا
الزكاة.
Take zakah.
No.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying yes or not. Take
I'll
zakah.
take zakah.
Take zakah. Well,
No.
loan. Why is loan? Why is zakah? Why is zakah?
Because it's ease from Allah.
It's from Allah. Yeah, take a loan. Why?
The reward is greater.
What's big?
If he takes a loan and he dies and he can't repay the loan, it's better to take the zakat, isn't it?
Zakah, because the loan can be paid. Yes. Okay. Well, we know that the hadith of Prophet said, "Al-yadu al-ulya khayrun min al-sufla." The upper hand is better than the lower. Always to be upper means what? The one who gives. You don't have to be what? To receive. It's better actually to take a loan. Even if you're going to die, because the loans will be paid and taken because you're rich man. You're a rich man. Once you're rich, your money will be paid regardless whether you die or you don't die. So if you're alive, you're going to pay it back. If you're dead, the first thing will come out of your money is the debt, the loans. No, I will be the upper hand. I will not put my hand to the zakah. I will say, brother, give me a loan, I'll give it to you. As for the person who's come to initiate a journey, he cannot be rich because his homeland, he's got his money. I can't give him zakah. But he's poor and he needs that journey. Let's say, for example, he needs to bury his mother. She'd been, or his son, whatever, in a different place, different town, different country. So he needs the ticket money. We give him going and coming back. We give him price of the ticket. Can we just stop going and coming? Okay? Because you're not going to understand it. You've got to keep going and coming. You're not going to understand it. Right, so basically the person, when he is in need of a journey and he is poor, we give him, he's not poor for food, but he's poor to get the ticket. So we give him enough money to, inshallah, make the journey and come back. Prophet ﷺ, he said, the sadaqah. Sadaqah means the sadaqah, whether it is voluntary sadaqah or the zakah, can be given to no rich except in 5 cases. You can't give this sadaqah or zakat to a rich person except in 5 cases. Al-amiluna alayha. Al-amiluna alayha. The one who will be deputized to distribute or collect the zakah. This person even is rich because he's doing a job. So he give him from the zakah money. So he's a zakah recipient. A person who is working to collect the zakah, he is able also to take money from the zakah for anything that he needs. I think I remember I talked about this. Like for example, he'd say he wants to collect the zakah from such and such an area, he needs to go to a hotel. And he will go to the hotel which he normally goes to. Because maybe let's say this is a rich person, he does not like to stay in this rubbish hotels. Do you understand? He's a wealthy man, and he was standard in a 5-star hotel. So his 5-star hotel has to be taken from where? From the zakat. Well, why did you want to send him? Send him somebody else. But maybe you send him because he's known to be rich. When he collects the zakat, people will feel what? Comfortable to give him the zakat. This guy's not going to steal it. Whereas a poor person, it's always his saliva coming down. His saliva is going down because there's money there. And he makes himself a fatwa to take from that money. I'm poor, let me take from it too. ما في مروحة اللي أنا fan here. Got lots of fans, but we don't have a single fan.
I'll ask them on that.
All of you, mashallah, fans, man.
Let me go ask them on that. Yeah?
Please, yeah.
It's very hot in here.
I want to take off my clothes now. It is that. Take off your clothes. And also the bit to do with the baton. Take that out before they kill. Right. So let's just focus upon this now. The second one is the one who is in debt because he had taken the burden of the reconcile. Remember, he wants to reconcile, he could be rich. Third one, who is the one who's mujahid fi sabilillah. He's making jihad. And he could be rich, but I want to give him zakat to equip himself. He could receive the zakat, take the zakat. And then he says these two things which you haven't really come across with. That is number one, miskin tasaddaqa alayh. Or tusuddiqa alayh. A poor man who is being given to him as a sadaqah. And from that sadaqah, he gives part of it as a gift to somebody who's what? Is rich. So this rich now became a recipient of the zakah even indirectly. For example, Prophet ﷺ, he had a slave woman. And there was a sadaqah of a lamb, like a barbecued lamb, sheep, being given to her. Sadaqah because she's poor. She works as a slave for the Prophet. Her name is Barira. And when Aisha wanted to give him some, she said, is it sadaqah? We can't take from it because the sadaqah, you remember we said, Al-Muhammad, you remember that? I'm not recipients of the zakah. We can't give them zakah. She said, no, Messenger of Allah, being given to Barira, and she's giving us from it as a gift. Do you understand what we said? She's being given to Barira as a sadaqah. So it's not to us, not to the family of Muhammad. And she's given from that sadaqah to us as a what? As a gift, no problem. Okay, it's no problem. The last one is a person who is given a zakah to somebody, and that person had given it to somebody else, and somehow he ended up getting his own zakah back. Let's say, for example, I gave to somebody as a poor person a horse. Zakah. This horse was sold in the market. And I went to get there and I bought that horse. Okay. But this has to be not with pre-planned. Then you will end up actually cheating because you want to pay less than the zakah that you pay. Say, for example, your zakah is 1 sheep because you have how many sheep minimum? You 1 sheep? 40. You have 40. Give one. Yes? Okay. So you gave one sheep as a zakah. And you know this person is going to sell it for any price in such and such market. So you go there and wait. To get that sheep of yours, which costs a lot more than, but because that person is desperate, you go and purchase it. You see, I'm not cheating. It's not enough. But if it happens now, you didn't do that. It's been sold, and you happen to be there, and you're not really pre-plan it, or you've been sold through other people to other people, and you got it back. That's as well here. Person received his own zakah, even his what? Rich. These are the fifth category. Right, now, let's just go to them one by one. First one was what? The recipient? Poor, indigent. Which is better for the poor person? To give him the zakah directly to his hand, or am I allowed just to go and purchase things for him? Am I allowed to purchase things for him without his consent? No. The zakah is his, isn't it? Yes? Right. What about the person is in debt? And I know that creditors who are sometimes predators. So, which is better? To give the one who's in debt the money so he could pay the creditor his money back, or you go directly and pay the creditor on behalf of that person who's in debt? Which one is better? Put your finger up and I will.
First one.
Father,
Creditor.
there's no first one, second one. You have to explain to me.
Pay to creditor directly.
Pray the creditor directly. You think it's paying to the creditor directly? Why?
Because his dignity, the rich man, and he will feel embarrassed to give him and then he pay the credit. So the creditor will get directly and he said,
So you pay the creditor,
yeah.
not to make the one who is in debt in the embarrassment. Okay?
No, you give him the money.
You give who? The one in debt.
Yeah, so he can give it the creditor himself.
Because it is?
Because he got himself in debt, so he pay it himself.
Okay.
You give it to the person who's in debt because they might want to take a bit of it to like buy food and stuff, and then give the rest to the creditor.
No, he's not in poverty for food. It's just that type of person will not give you.
That's a dodgy one.
Actually, we got two cases where we got Ahmed's case, dodgy one. Not you, the case of yours that you presented is a dodgy one. Why? Because that person, you think that he might take it for something else. So I would, in that case, give it to the one who's a creditor. Because he might spend it in very liquid. I don't want him to spend it. I want to settle what? The debt. It's not in need of very liquid nor food. Whereas in the case of Rahman, which is correct, that is, if this person, we know that he will pay the creditor, it would be more better to give him his hand so that he could go to the creditor and give him, not to embarrass him the other way around, to go and say this is a sadaqah, because he wants to feel this is his own money. So when he goes to the creditor and take your money without the creditor knowing the what? That this is from charity. No, he doesn't know. I worked and got it. This is your money. So the upper hand, remember, is better than the what? The lower hand. So I'm giving you back your money. That's it. Now the creditor will be able to give him as well again a loan later on. If he, do you understand me? But if he told his charity, I said, hang on a second, if you give him charity this time, I'm not going to give him charity next time. So he gave to the person who's in debt to pay back better than to give the creditor. Is that understood? Yes, Habibi? Right. What about the person who is a slave? Do we give to the person who is a slave in his hand, or to give to the master and free him? Yes?
It depends on what.
It depends.
Yeah.
If the slave is making a deal with his master, then I give the slave. But if he's not making a deal with the master, then I will go to the owner, and I purchase him, and I said to him, what? Free. That's the zakat. Further?
Sheikh, if you're like the master or a master and you have to pay zakat and
You just set him free because it's your money.
Okay, that's fine.
So how much is my slave worth? 500. Okay, my zakat is 1,000. This is 500, and the rest is in. Okay, so you set him free as part of the zakat. It's more encourageable to set him free rather than to give me money. Set him free. Fine. Anything regarding the zakat before we go to zakat al-fitr? Fine.
For the debt, zakat, does it matter what type of debt the person's in? Like, it could be haram debt, interest mortgage or something.
Jazakallah. Let's just go to the categories of number. Remind me of this debt now. First of all, you need to know that the journey, you remember the one who was in journey, the wayfarer, the traveler. If this person had gone to a journey where it's haram journey, we're going to give him zakat. Do you understand? We don't give him zakat. If it's haram, he wants to, brother, I don't have money, I want to have trouble just to go and fornicate with him. We don't give him zakat, even if he's in need. Okay? Now we come into the loan, same thing applies, unless he repented to Allah. Okay? If he repents to Allah, we'll give him from the zakat. So we had a loan to purchase alcohol. We had a loan to do zina. But he's in debt now, and he repented to Allah. We will settle his debt. But if he's still in debt, because he's going to pay his debt, he's going to be in more debt to make more zina, we're not going to give him that chance. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if he repented, we'll give him, if he does not. Question. Is there any zakah on that rich young guy? How old are you?
12.
12. What's your name?
Abdullah.
The way we last time in the Quran class.
Go on, tell them.
Hopefully it's better than Quran. طيب, Ya Abdullah, say that he became a millionaire somehow. Okay? He became a millionaire. Do you have to pay zakat or not? That's a question. Abdullah hasn't reached his puberty. Allah's still a young boy. Him, or let's say his little brother, who was a baby, he became another millionaire as well. His father said, where did he get from? Where did he get a millionaire from? You robbed a bank or something? So the baby became a millionaire. Do we have to take zakat from him every year or not? No zakat. And the hadith which says, hadith Aisha, the Prophet said, invest in the money of the orphan before the zakat eats it. That's not correct. It's unauthentic. The orphan is the one who had lost his what? Father. And he's not, hasn't reached his puberty. The one who lost his mother, his father is alive as well. The one who lost his both, yes, of course. Right. So the young child or the orphan, there is no zakah on their money. Right. Now,
For the traveller, when you give them zakat, do you give them zakat so their journey is comfortable or just about manageable?
you give them the zakah where the journey is decent. So you're talking about, let's say, for example, he's stranded in Pakistan. He wants to come back. And he hasn't got the money. Or he's got the money here. When I give him the zakah, do I give him the zakah, which is journey about 5 stops on the road and about 4 days to come back, come here? That's not dignity. Because it's cheap ticket, So he's stopping in everywhere. Just because I want to give him little money. No, I'll give him proper, that is a decent one. Maybe 1 stop, 5 stops. Follow.
I heard there's some people that when the zakat is due on a particular date, they take the money out and spend it so they don't have to pay the zakat. Is that cheating?
if this person had the money which is the nisab, the threshold, let's say he's got £5,000, and the day is due, for example, tomorrow, to pay zakat for 1 year, and he had spent money just the day before. Now, that depends on his intention. If he spent the money because he wanted to spend the money, not because he wants to run away from the zakah, and he spent 3,000 one go, and it's just 1 day, it became now less than the nisab, became 2,000, it's no zakah. But if he did it just to run away from the zakah, like there is in the madhab of Hanafi, where the person's got gold, husband, and before the day which is due, let's say for tomorrow I'm going to be paying the zakah on my gold, what he does, he gives that gold as a gift to his wife. That's in the matter. Gives it as a gift. Just for 1 day, he's not going to have it well. After that day, he brings it back. Because the gift is can't be allowed taken back. In order to run away from what? And they allow this. And this is called cheating, it's not allowed. Okay? That's documented in the Madhab al-Hanafi. Now,
if a person dies and he's in debt and his family is poor, can he pay the zakat, pay the debts?
if this person has died and he's poor, can we pay zakat
And he's in debt, yeah, he's poor.
for the funeral? No, we don't pay zakat except if he's poor, but not the person who's dead. The dead we can't do because dead, we can't receive money.
No, you pay his debts.
Oh, his debts.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was dead. Well, let's just answer the two questions actually. I made a question now out of your question. So, can we pay his debts as zakat? It depends. If he had left money, no, we can't. Because the zakat has to go from where? From his money first. Soon as he dies, that priority goes to number one, the money, which is to prepare him for death, funeral procession. Number two, come to the category of debt. The debt has got categories in it. Number one, the debt that is to free the assets. Because maybe you've got assets stranded, so we free them. Then after that, we go to the debts of Allah, which is zakat, because zakat he hasn't paid. Then the third category of the debt of the people. Then after that, the will. Then after the will comes the inheritance. The last one is the inheritance, the heirs. So if he had nobody to pay for him, and blah, blah, yes, you could pay the zakat to close the debts on that person. Very good question. Can you give us Sami? You could pay from the zakat to close that debt because maybe he left his sons and children. They're poor. Question I just developed here, can we pay zakat to prepare his funeral? Zakat. We only pay to other live ones, not to the poor ones. Remember the dead ones. So the live ones, they are poor and they need to bury him. So we give them the zakat because they are poor. And they want to take this money to a funeral. It is better to always generate a box for those who are poor, especially in a country where they might be cremated, so they're buried, to help these people. Sadaqah, general sadaqah. And we know that for a fact that some people that have no families, they could be burnt, cremated. You know that cremation, by the way, doesn't cost money. I think it's on the NHS. It's just pressing a button. That's it. He's being burned. It's a furnace. Whereas the burial is a land and is all of that. Some of the burial takes place now these days is in the 5,000 plus.
Yeah.
Some of the areas which are very expensive, like in London. I have been listening just today to a person an advert. I said, let me listen to this advert, because they put it on YouTube, they just deafening with these adverts. But this guy catches my attention, and he's talking about that, how much death costs, and what is the monopoly here. He said in 2040, 20 years from now, your death might cost 22,000. So everyone.
No land left, that's why.
We might chop him off now, put him in pieces and put him back. 22,000. And he says that this is a non-Muslim, of course, because their burial takes prestige as well and everything. And he says that the undertaker is the one who prepared it. They are, these business people, they exploit your emotional when somebody dies, so you are in need. Because you are in need, they ask for a lot of money. But if you pre-plan that, it will be less. You understand? Pre-plan it, because you can shop around. Shop around. Okay? You make a deal with the company. But before, when somebody dies, you've been harassed. Everybody will. You need to bury him anyway. So they ask you for a lot of money. Now, تفضل.
Sheikh, on the question of
So I'll just تفضل إن شاء الله for next time. تفضل.
the point of contributing towards somebody's hajj.
And before next time it's going to be the last class before I break. And then I'm talking about Wednesday. What's today? What's the day today? 10th, yes. So last class Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's going to be, yes.
2 weeks.
All right. Last class is going to be Wednesday. Huh? The class is going to be about Hajj. We are actually we're going to do the Hajj here. So we're going to be Hajj after they come back, inshallah. So it's going to be Zakat al-Fitr. Okay. We might make an introduction for the Hajj. I'm looking at the time. I mean, Zakat al-Fitr, I could finish it and start Hajj next time. I don't mind. It's up to you guys. Huh? What's that?
Hajj class, please.
You want to go to Hajj? You're going to Hajj?
Yes.
Are you Bangladeshi?
Yes.
That's why you said Hajj. It's Hajj.
Hajj.
And I said, because I've got Bashir, I know. I keep saying Hajj. Hajj is with an H and a Fatha. طيب. Okay, Zakat al-Fitr. And what's your question quickly?
The question is, for the person who is paying for their Hajj, if it is only for somebody who you know they never have the means to pay, or if you know they don't have the means now, but they're working and you know eventually they're going to get the means to pay, can you give to that person as well, or is it just the person who you know they never have the means to pay in a poor country or
Referring to the Hajj, you mean?
Yes, if you contribute zakat towards
If
something.
you give Zakat to Hajj Zakat, you can't get it back. But I don't understand what you're saying.
No. So do I give it to somebody who I know they're not working, they might be...
No, somebody can't make Hajj. Maybe he could be working, but Hajj takes a lot of money. Hajj needs at least £6,000 or £5,000. 5 grand. I'm not talking just that. You pay the company and everything, but you need to have £500 pocket in your pocket money. So £5,000 you need, for Hajj. So these people maybe can't afford the £5,000. So you give them, whether they work or they're bankrupt or they're...
But if you know that they're in a working environment and eventually they might have the means to...
It doesn't matter eventually. We can't really talk about the future. Eventually they might die before they get there eventually. You give them now for the Hajj. Are you going to get the Zakat al-Fitr or are you going to put your finger up?
Oh, there's a question for my mom.
Okay. How did you get it? MashaAllah. Go ahead.
You asked, can you give zakat to a person who lives beyond their means in terms of they spend money and they're in debt because of all the stuff that they bought, and because they're in debt, can you give them zakat?
Again, the question again.
So say someone they only have this much budget and it's like say £100, but they spend beyond their means, and then at the end of the month they realise they're in debt. You have to give them
as long as as long as it is not this following case. This person who had capability of, for example, living in a rent or buying a house for £5,000, £10,000, some of the Muslim countries. But he ended up making a house, as I mentioned, for £1 million. And he built half of it. And he said, brothers, I haven't got money to finish my palace.
Yes, half a package.
To finish the palace of mine. I would say, then, brother, sell your palace, the palace at the moment, sell it to somebody who can complete it and finish it up. And spend money on me, but I can't give you money to finish that palace of yours. Okay? So if it is not that case, there's no problem, inshallah. Some people that end up in debt because they spend so much. I know some people used to receive zakat, and they live in a house which costs maybe £800,000. But because they were living in that house and they lost their money during the Saudi, and they don't have a place to live in except for that place. Alright? So they don't need of zakat. Now,
Can the wayfarer be a non-Muslim?
can the wayfarer be a non-Muslim? You're going to repeat all of this because they're very good. This is a dimension of Muslim and non-Muslim. Zakah, okay, everybody, cannot be given to a non-Muslim except in one case. Which one? Bringing close to the hearts, softening the hearts, or reconciling the hearts. That's it. Okay, the wayfarer, I could give him to a non-Muslim sadaqah. No problem. But zakah, no.
But if you thought that giving him, to rescuing him, would bring him closer to Islam, you could give him?
If you wanted, for example, to give him to reconcile his heart, but he's a wayfarer as well at the same time, and he's a poor at the same time, and he's whatever, and he's a rich, he's rich, then you can give him.
Sure.
Because one of them is reconciling the heart.
Yeah.
But he is as well poor, and plus that, he's a wayfarer as well.
And in debt.
And you can give him because of that category.
Yeah.
Asia, another question?
No, it's scratching my head.
He's thinking.
Every time he scratches his head, comes up with a question.
MashaAllah.
Zakat al-Fitr. Zakat al-Fitr is the zakah that you pay at the end of Ramadan. Okay? We spoke about it a number of times. We speak about Ramadan, yes?
Yes.
Just going to be quick. Zakat al-Fitr, it is not money. It is to be food that can be stored. Food that can be what? Stored. It cannot be chicken or kebab or meat or... It has to be food that can be stored. Like, for example, dal, lentil. Like, for example, rice. Like, for example, wheat. Like, for example, barley, for those people who eat barley. Some of the people, they like barley because they cook it they bake it for bread and all that. It's like dates, it's like raisins, not grapes. Grapes, no. You need fridges for grapes. But raisins, yes. Okay. So all of those are to be, those are all curd. You've heard about the curd? Dry cheese. Not Kurdish people, but curd. That is dry cheese. All of that, it is compulsory on the person who is in charge of his family. Not on the members, on the one who's the head of the family, and he will pay it on behalf of every person whom he is responsible to spend on them. So whether it is daughters, his sons, whether they're old or young, whether they are babies, whether if his mother, his father is within his expenditure. For example, he spent money on his father and mother, he will pay on their behalf as well. The baby in the womb, there is no zakah. You can give anything you like, but it's not zakah. Zakat al-Fitr. Unless it's been born before the sunset of the last day of Ramadan. Then you have to pay zakat al-Fitr with him. And the amount you pay is a sa'. Sa' means volume, 4 handful, which we made it easy for everybody, which is what 3 kilos we said. 3 kilos from those items, 3 kilos of raisins. So if you are a family of 7 people, you and your wife, Abdullah, you and your wife and 8 children. You are 10 now. How many kilos are you going to bring out from the raisins or the dates? Or total 10. Come on, each one's 3 kilos.
Oh, 30.
30, yes. So 10 members of the family, each one 3 kilos. 10 multiplied by 3. You give 30 kilos of rice or 30 kilos of dates. Okay. Do you understand that? And you give it to the poor, and the recipient is only one. It's not like the 8 categories in this, and that is faqir or miskin, the poor person, the one who cannot find his food for the day and the night. So you give it to him, and even that poor person, once you give him that food, he starts becoming rich. You give it to what? So look up to other people as well. What is the wisdom behind this? 2 reasons. Number 1, to clear your mistakes, to purify your fast. So, purification for the fasting person from indecent speech, because you have scratched your fast sometimes. Second reason is food for the poor people. So when they come to the Eid prayer, they come with happiness. They know that, alhamdulillah, they've secured their family, when you have food for them, they come and enjoy with us the celebration of the Eid. That's what it is. Why we cannot give the zakat al-fitr outside our vicinity, our area, unless we don't have poor people. So we have poor people in Aylesbury, the zakat al-fitr goes to people in Aylesbury, the Muslim ones. And the zakat al-fitr is only for whom? Muslim. The Arabic and Indian Muslim. The zakat al-fitr is to Muslims. When you give it out, and the poor person is to receive it definitely before Salat al-Eid of his, not yours, of his, the poor person. And it has to be within the last 2 days, because to be close to the what? To the Eid. Profitable is to give it between Fajr of the day of Eid until what? Salat al-Eid, at that time. And that's why from the Sunnah is to delay what? Eid al-Fitr. Delayed. Eid al-Fitr is to be delayed. Why? To give more time for giving what? But because now we need to expand with a lot of people, so the companions of their time is to give it in the last 2 days. Not before that. Last thing, which is the general sadaqah. General sadaqah, it is very recommended for the person, every time he finds himself stingy, is to give sadaqah to such an extent that your left doesn't know how much you're right to spend. You're going to be in the categories of those whom Allah will give you the shade of the day of resurrection. Give sadaqah, a sadaqah from the word sidq. It shows the truthfulness of your heart. Right, stop here. Time for questions. Tafadhal.
Sheikh, because raisins are dry fruit, are you allowed to give other dry fruit
as long as it is food? Sugar is not food, you know that.
Dry fruit. So
yeah, I'm saying as long as it is dry, can be stored, no problem.
Okay.
And it is food.
Yeah.
Should some.
Like dried apples and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what do you consider tomatoes then? Fruit or not fruit?
They're fruit.
I mean, the dried tomatoes, who are you going to eat them? I don't know.
In Spanish.
You understand me? So it's not every dry fruit can be fruit. I'm trying to say to you. Raisins is well known to be food for the people. And that is why we see that as well, that the people of the place where you're going to give them, you need to be that food is food for them. Maybe if you give them raisins, it's not going to be food for them. Just like the barley. We don't give barley to everybody. Some people will ask, we want barley. Some poor people will say, we want barley, please. Because their bread is from the barley, or the chapatis from the barley, the rotis from the barley. Huh? You know the roti comes from barley stuff. Not from wheat.
Zakat al-Hawl can be delayed.
Sorry?
Zakat al-Hawl can be delayed.
Very good question. Can we delay the zakat? So the zakat is due, you're not allowed to delay it. Straight away, you take it out from your money. So I've got 5,000. So how much is the cap on 10,000 now? How much is the cap? 10,000. How much is the cap? Come on, you should know that. 10,000. You got 10,000, 10 grand. Anybody? On the kids? Adults? Huh? 250 pounds. That's 2.5%. 250 pounds. So 250 pounds, you set it aside. That's the zakat. Now, you set it aside, khalas, you know they get them. Because maybe you don't have a poor person to give now. As long as you took it away. And as soon as you find a person who's a recipient, you give it to him. Okay? Whether it's online or on the rail. There's two online here. If you heard about this, somebody sent me an image, which is a true image. You know, in India, they put in the vegetables on the rail. So they say vegetables online. Because the line of the rail is on top of that, the train rails go online vegetables. Allah was that.
Big market.
Big market, yes, it's a big market. What was the last question, madam? I forgot. 250, yeah. By the way, let's say that 250 pounds, you put it aside, a thief had stolen it from you. You put the 250, which is a zakat, you want to give it to a poor person. Before you gave it to a poor person, somebody stole it from you. You pay it again or khalas, I took it out. Do you understand what I'm saying? You took the 250 pounds, you give it to the poor people. So khalas, you set it aside. Somehow a thief. Huh?
Poor thief.
Unless you pay it.
That's what he said.
No, it's not halal.
It's not halal. Wallah, you have to pay it again. You have to get from that 10,000 another 250.
It probably was the same one you're going to give it to anyway.
So if it's been taken away or stolen or you have lost it, to substitute. Okay. But is 10,000 pounds always coming?
If it's reaching you.
What happens? Not just 250. 10,000.
No, it's not.
You still have to pay 250? No. Do you understand me now? No. Not 250. You are poor people. You are poor person, now you need zakat. So you've been stolen now, even after the zakat was due. But he stole all his money. It's poor.
No, but everything's paid by direct debit, like your wages and your bills are taken out of your bank. So if you've got a certain amount in the bank, but you're taking it out every month, you still have to pay zakat on that money.
You pay zakat on the savings, on the savings.
That's on the savings.
Always on the savings. Whatever savings, if it stays for 1 year, you pay zakat on it. Now,
are you allowed to pay zakat to someone who is gonna be in debt, but to prevent them from going into debt, you give them like say
no, you don't give zakat to somebody who is not in debt, unless he becomes in debt.
No, but to prevent them to go in debt. Like, say if someone goes to pay for uni and they get in debt for like $9 grand.
You wait for them until they become in debt. Because they might change their mind and not go to the uni. True or not? Yeah.
10,000 dropped. And not zakat. If you lost the 250.
No, but I mean, the 10,000 had reached a year. What are you talking about? Listen. If you had the 10,000 pounds and you went to for the whole year, and after the 1 year, like for example, you spent 5,000, you still have to pay the 250. But this person, he lost his money after the years passed. So they were not going to ask him for 250 once he gets money because he lost all his money. Did you understand what I said?
The first scenario, 250 stolen. The whole dropped, so no zakat.
If the 250 you set it aside, you still got your 10,000 there, or 9,750 still there. Still you have to take from that money to give to the poor people. Now.
The amount of zakat you give, if you give extra on top of that, is that considered sadaqah?
If you give extra, it's considered sadaqah. Can I give my zakat before I reached the year?
Yes.
Yes. But I have to calculate. If my money was more than what I paid as zakah, I would pay the difference. If it's less, then it's going to be considered a sadaqah. You paid more, alhamdulillah. You can't ask the poor person, give me back some of that zakah, because my capital was not as I calculated. No.
Can you give more than one sa' to a poor
You could give more than one side. You could give a sack. Okay? No problem, inshallah. You remember, you know, sack? What's a sack? Like, what's happened to this one?
That was
That one's broken.
Yeah,
It leaks.
leaks.
And it was really, mashallah, doing very well.
Didn't notice it.
But that one's doing nothing. It was when you opened that one, you could do a lot there. Right. No questions? Quiz, get this.
At what point do you stop giving zakat to like a
At what point do we stop giving zakat? What do you mean?
to like a so say if like
You give a zakat until this person is on his feet for 1 year, if you wish.
okay.
For 1 year. Make him rich for 1 year. That's zakat. We're going to give a zakat just, brother, I'll give you a life for 1 day.
No, like say if there was like only like a handful of poor people in the community and everyone gave their zakat to them and then they're rich. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But you see, the poor person, he's living in a healthy community. So if you find, for example, a poor person who is making a fortune out of this, and he still pretends to be poor, all his money will be suht, like the Prophet said, what? Haram. And there are. There was a lady whom her husband deserted her. And he left her with 5 children. And he left to another country. And because of that case, she started receiving what? Huge money. Not sadaqah, zakat. And she was living in a shack, you know, like one of these metal things. Okay? And and she did not move from that shack until later on, years after. I'll tell you what happened. That her husband, by the way, he died. I know this story because then I'm close. Her husband tried to go back to her. She kicked him out because the source of money was stopped. Do you understand that? The people who are pouring money into her, she doesn't want him. And she bought a mansion. She made later on a mansion. Proper house. You know. So all of that money she's been saving all these years, pretending that she's poor, but she was not poor. Okay, she built a big mansion from that money. And you've heard as well in Egypt, some of those who used to be working as a gateman. Gateman, he receives as well tips. Lots of people. Like beggars, basically. One is the gateman. He ended up owns 2 lofty story buildings when he died. So the government took it away from him. They didn't give it to his children. So he used to be pretending that he's what? Poor. But he had owned what? 2 skyscrapers. Not skyscrapers, I would say about stories about 4 stories or 5 stories each building. I think he was a gate man as well for one of them. الله. طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.